Okay, hello and good day to everyone. That is really tuning in here at the Sphere Rocket Podcast Network. Once again, I'm going to be the host for today's episode. My name is Wayne, and with me today is a really special guest. I believe one of the top real estate agents that we got by far, and his name is Lex. But I guess I'll let him introduce himself. Lex, how are you doing today? And tell us a little bit something about you first.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Really excited to be here. I'll never get comfortable with that top realtor title. I don't think about myself in that way. My, I never thought I would ever get to this point, and it's been a lot of hard work. 12 years being in the business, always trying to be the first one in the office, and really just outworking everybody out there and trying to put as many great days in a row together, um, generating leads and creating opportunities for myself. So yeah, super blessed. I think I have the best job in the world. Absolutely love what I do every single day, and couldn't ask for a better life.
Okay, well, that's amazing. And, I like that kind of work ethic and mindset. It's not about you being the best compared to other people. It's just you doing your best at your job at your own pace.
Mhm.
And, that's the kind of inspiration that's, I guess, healthy in a way that's not going to stress you out
Mhm.
and not going to make you sound arrogant or anything. But, if you're if you're where at the point that you are right now, then that means you're definitely doing an amazing job at being at doing your job in general.
Yep.
And you've mentioned that you really love this job, of course, and
Yes.
based on what you're saying. But I'm curious though, is this the kind of job that you were envisioning yourself to be having maybe when you're a lot younger, before you started even getting into any kind of job or work?
No, I mean, raised by a single mother, worked at the phone company. Pretty decent job for her with minimal education, and trying to raise a son and my brother and sister as well. But working all day every day. She was really my inspiration and still is. She gave up a lot of her youthfulness to drive me to sports, and I wrestled for 12 years of my life, and she would give up pretty much every day. She I think I must have had like 1,000 matches in my career, and I remember her missing maybe two. And every Saturday getting up at 4 a.m. to drive me an hour away to weigh in at 6 a.m. and then sit with me all day in a smelly gym all day. And usually I was good enough to make the finals, so I'd be in the finals at 6 7 p.m. So giving up every weekend, giving up every spare moment that she had for me, is really a big driving point in my life to make sure that all that wasn't for nothing. Everything that she did, and my dad as well. My dad did a lot for me as well, and making sure that the sacrifices they made are not that I'm aware of that, and that I wanted to really take my family lineage 3 steps further than they did, and really make sure that I make an imprint, and don't waste the talent that I was given, because I really feel like it takes a lot of different things to make a good realtor, right? It's not just hard work ethic, right? It's I also one of the biggest marketers in the country, and I spend a lot of money on marketing, so I have to have a lot of confidence in myself and to be able to produce when the time comes to get in front of somebody. So I think I have all the right attributes to be great in this business, and seeing that and knowing that, I never want to waste a second, and that's why I put so much time and effort into this, because I do feel I have a special gift, and I feel like it came from my parents, and I want to make them proud every day, and I want to make sure that I'm living up to the best of my potential every day.
Yes, and that you are doing. And I couldn't agree more with what you said. It takes a lot of different things to make a successful real estate agent, because I've talked to a successful real estate agent that is an introvert. He just focused on basically emails, old school style of marketing, and he was able to make it to one of the top as well. And
Mhm.
there are people who just focus on just really good people's person who's able to make any connections with any random guy he just talked to over an elevator or something, You don't need to be the best at something that's, they would say that would make the best kind of real estate agent. You can develop your own strategy to make
Yep.
yourself somehow the best at something you would do. But are you in this case? So wrestler to a real estate agent. So how did you get to that kind of career shift?
So I wrestled, did all sports. I was always outside. It's very different than kids are these days. I never was really a video game fan. I was always just out being active. Um, and then went to college in San Jose State, graduated from San Jose State with a business degree. Worked in, a couple of different roles, product manager, worked as a product manager at Google, worked at another Japanese company. But once I got a taste for real estate and what was possible, although it took me a long time to see, once I got into the business, I realized, okay, you're going to make, based on the effort that you put in. And I like that. I like that because, again, my thoughts were always seeing my mom work so hard. I always thought I was going to work like a county job, 9 to 5, be stuck in an office, and just be capped off at making, $100,000, which is a great living. But, I thought that was, my be all end all. And, I think the first probably light bulb that went on was, we were doing, I was helping a guy with flips early on in my business, and selling like REO tapes, real estate bank owned tapes. And I saw a couple of people's bank statements, some of these clients that they were servicing, and just looked at the bank statement and kind of was in shock and just like, man, how does this person have so much money in his account? I'm definitely doing something wrong here. And that was kind of the first light bulb. And I didn't know how I was going to get there. And again, I never envisioned being in the position that I'm at, selling the amount of real estate that I have. Never, never, ever. But it was just a daily progression, and keeping my head down, and just make sure that I maximize every single opportunity that I get, because the industry is very different then than it is now. Now buyers agents don't play, in my opinion, such a big part. Most back when I started, you had to send every buyer the properties. Right now, everything's automated. They have a search criteria set on Redfin or Zillow or one of those, and the second a property comes on the market, they already have it. So it's just very different. Creating that relationship is very different. So you have to bring something different to the table. You have to have you were talking about personality. I think I'm a very introverted person when I'm out socially. But when I'm in front of a client or when I'm dealing with real estate, that's where my passion comes out, and that's where I can talk
Turn into a
for.
different kind of
Yeah,
person when you're talking at work.
yeah, I could talk forever about it. I just, I love it, and I think that's how you generate, major wealth in this country. And I'm just so dedicated towards, doing the best possible job for my clients.
I guess that would be your business superpower, your ability to make those kind of connections, and being able to talk, and yeah, just making connections in general. Or do you have anything else that you think that made you stand out in terms of doing your
Um,
job?
for me, it's taking a risk. It's really diving into mail marketing. I mail right now, probably mailing about 70,000 pieces a month, um, which is pretty crazy when you're talking about a piece probably costing about 90 cents these days. So I spend quite a bit on mail marketing. I'm one of the biggest mail marketers in the country. I own a marketing company, Impact Mail, that helps real estate agents kind of get to the levels that I'm doing, and because a lot of agents don't know where to start. This is not an industry that when you come in they say do X, Y, and Z and you'll be a top agent, right? You basically have to figure it out. And I pride myself on being an agent that shares everything that I do and everything that I can, right? I'll give you my whole playbook, mainly because I don't think that you're going to go to the extent that I am to be successful, right? It's all about implementation, and you can have a good idea, but are you going to act on it? Great example. I got a great idea from one of my coaches that I'm working with right now. He gave me an idea, and within 2 weeks, from his idea, I put it into action, and based on that idea, I mailed out probably like 4,000 pieces already of mail. So I'm not someone who will just sit on an idea or not implement, right? Like, I'm going to put it into action. And being always being active, always being present, and always willing to take a risk and go overboard on my mail marketing is what makes me successful. I'm about to order 100,000 flyers to send out, and that's a big bill to flip. But at the same time, I know that those that order will probably get me 4 appointments, and I could potentially double my money and just keep the momentum flowing that I got going on right now going, because I'm a lot of realtors, especially in this area, although it's one of the hottest markets in the country, a lot of them are struggling with no business right now. And right now I think I'm at 22 million for the year. So and it's all effort when I see everyone else coming in late to the office, when I see everyone on vacation, when I see everyone doing all these things, and I know I'm the one in the office putting in the work. I see why the results are coming. And before we got on the call, you saw me take a call from a client
Yeah,
that
in
called
action.
off.
And I saw how
Yeah,
awesome you were.
that called after they called on one of my flyers. And I unfortunately we started late here because I'm always going to put my clients first and make sure. And the older lady,
No
she
worries. Yeah, I totally understand that.
yeah, older
And
lady
it sounded good.
yeah, thank you. Older lady, worried about this is what she's worked her whole life for, right? To have a house, to be able to sell it and retire off of that. So it's super, super important that the process is handled correctly. And she was telling me about, she has a friend who can refer her someone and he'll make some money off it. And it's like, that's not really how the process should go. You got to have someone that is 100% committed to making sure that you get the most possible for your home, because you spent your whole life trying to get to that point of home ownership. And I think, unfortunately, I think a lot of
Definitely.
realtors and this business, we take it lightly, right? We see it on TV, $1 million listing and all this stuff. And people don't understand the struggle of getting to the point of having someone trust you with their biggest investment of their life, right? They take it so
Yeah, you're
lightly.
pretty much a stranger before she called you, you know?
Yeah,
You're not like a referral, and even they just saw your flyer.
yeah, yeah,
And yeah,
yeah.
that takes a lot.
And if I would have rushed off the phone and been like, "Hey, thanks for calling. Can I get your address? I'll put that stuff in the mail. I'm going to do a podcast right now, so I have to go." Like, how would she have received that, right? So, I had to postpone a little bit to make sure that she felt comfortable. And she's already talking about scheduling an appointment with me, which is great. Usually, when that happens, I end up selling the house. So, yeah, great start to the day.
Yeah, and it jumped off to asking you where did you go to school? Did you go to school at this area? And wow,
Yeah.
that was really fast. Or
Yeah,
and
yeah. I mean, and it all, my network and growing up in this area, helps me sell properties. Last year I sold 14 properties off market without even hitting the market, because I can make one post on social media and all the top realtors are my friends, and they'll, hey, I have a client for this, and we can put it together off market. So I have, that's part of what makes me successful. I'm gonna do things in a different way. I'm going to market the property in a different way to make sure that you get the absolute most for your property.
yeah, definitely thinking out of the box definitely
Mhm.
helps you be on top because, as you mentioned, there's a lot more realtors and a lot more competition now.
Yep.
And of course, the developing technology that we have, so a lot more options to be better, but also a lot of things to try out. And I guess it involves a lot of trial and error in
Yep.
this case to find the best kind of solution to make yourself your business better in general.
Yep.
So that being said, though, and I'm sure that, I mean, you're doing amazing and awesome, but you pretty much might have made a lot of mistakes or failures in a way in terms of decisions that you've made for your career. So, what do you think is the biggest one that is also the biggest one that you've learned from?
I think the biggest is not finding or not reaching out to find a mentor early on. I think that would definitely be number one. People see me listing a lot of homes. In 2022, I listed 86 homes, which was the top agent in the city. And we live in a big metropolitan area. But I think that it took me 5 years to be introduced to my who would eventually be my mentor. And, in maybe a month of working with him, it changed my life because it showed me what doing, real estate on a large scale really looks like, and how to go and present in front of a client, and how to set up a property, and every little finite detail that has to do with the process of selling a home at a high level. And you don't see it unless you see it, right? You don't see it unless someone really shows it to you. You think you know, but you don't know.
Yeah,
So
you're
for
pretty much playing checkers, and he taught you how to play chess in the real estate world. So
great
that's a
analogy.
different kind of
Great analogy.
yes,
That's spot on. Yeah, I mean, he changed my life in so many different ways, and I never, miss an opportunity. I speak on stage a lot, and I speak in front of big groups, and I never miss an opportunity to thank him for putting me in position, where I'm at right now. Because without that mentorship, I definitely, would have been good. Well, would have been good in this business and would have sold a lot, but nowhere near the amount that I've sold, just because of what he showed me over that 2 years period that I spent with him and on his team, and learning and picking up small little tips and tricks, and everything that's helped my business.
definitely. It's good to yeah. Just that's why thinking outside the box in general is going to be a great idea to grow your business. Because if you're just gonna go buy the books, and yeah, most likely you're gonna get outdated if you're not gonna continuously look into different options, and if you're pretty much gonna be scared to try out or any kind of change, which is happening a lot, especially in old school people wanting to, even older in the business, they don't want to make this kind of change in their plans, and of course, their competitors are going to be ahead of them, like the use of
Yep.
technology and such. And in your case, of course, it's from your mentor. Any specific development since you've been in the real estate world for how many years now?
12 years. 12.
12?
Yeah,
Yeah,
12.
12 years. So more than a decade. So a lot of changes would definitely happen within those 12 years. So what was the biggest change that you've in the business that you've seen and you've adapted to during those 12 years?
I'd say the biggest change is just, technology's come a long way, right? And like I said, I think, I think the buyer side of the business, representing a buyer in the process, has changed so much. I don't like it. I don't like how things have turned, because I think when I originally started, there wasn't all these websites. So, I would have to scour MLS, multiple listing service every single day, and send my client properties. And then, I'd send them properties on Tuesday and Wednesday. And then Thursday and Friday, I'm scheduling, what we're going to go see over the weekend. And then I'm meeting them at every property to go see it and giving my input. And I think that really sharpened, my skills going to so many buyers, showings when I was early on in my career. And I just had a knack for just gaining buyers' trust who's never met me before, even though it was through a referral, and showing them that my intentions were to get you a great investment and a great home, and not just sell you a home. Because I think so many agents will show a buyer a property, and they want to sell them every single property. And I've had buyers tell me this, and they're like, every house that they show them is like, this is the one for you. Look how great these finishes are. Look how. And I've had one of my great clients. I'm selling, I think, a fourth house for him right now. I showed him the first house I ever showed him. We walked in, and I said, "Let's go, let's leave." And he's like, "What do you mean, let's leave?" And I was like, "This house isn't for you. I could already tell." And we left the house, and then we went to the next house. And then before we went in the second house, he said, why did you say let's leave?" And I said, I forgot exactly what I told him, but it was something based on a quick observation of the house in the neighborhood. Um, and he told me, wow, no one's, I was working with two other realtors, and they try to sell me on every house, right? How perfect it is for me. And the first one that you tell me is not good. So it was a little bit shocking, but it also kind of shows you're different. And gained his trust, sold four houses for him since, working on one right now. And, it's just a different approach, and really, like, I'm not afraid to give you my opinion and to tell you that this isn't a good house for you. Let's wait. I'm showing a client a house right now, and I think I've shown him 40 houses, And I think anyone that I told him to write an offer on, he probably would, just because he trusts my judgment. But it's not about that. It's about finding the right home. And, I don't want someone, 3 months from now to be disappointed because I pushed them into a property that they didn't like. So I make sure I find people the right fit. But, and going with that, so many realtors these days, and I think it's a lot of it has to do with the buyer. A realtor will just send their buyer to the property, and they'll just go look at homes on their own. And then when they're ready to write an offer, they're, calling their agent, and their agent didn't really do anything. Some do, don't get me wrong. There's a lot of great agents out there, but 9 times out of 10, no, I wouldn't say that high, but a lot is agents, not doing much. And that's why commissions are being discussed, because people are feeling they're not getting, what they should for the commissions that are being paid. But I know that, the extra hours that I put in, going over the reports, going over disclosures, just putting in that extra time makes people feel that much more comfortable with working with me and the knowledge and expertise that I have in the industry. And that's why I sell a lot of homes, and that's why, obviously I get paid well.
Yeah, I guess you being able to see all of those potential customers as more than just a product to sell makes them feel a bit more humane, I guess. And it's all about connections and after sales, I guess. Especially in sales, you wanted to get a good reviews or referrals, because if
Yep.
you did a good job with this customer, then of course he's going to tell it to his friends that, oh, this guy's amazing, and yeah, those kind of stuff. And I was imagining myself as well, if someone is going to sell me everything and say, oh, this is good, this is good, this is good, buy this, buy this, buy this, I'm like, okay, that's pretty much everything. But if 9 agents will tell me that, and then there's this one agent that would tell me, like, this is not for you. And yeah, as you mentioned, I would really think, okay, so this agent probably saw something that those 9 other agents didn't see from me. And I think that's an amazing way to somehow distance yourself from those different agents, because there's a lot of real estate agents that can tell you something, but yeah, it makes you more, they call this,
Well, a lot
focused
of it,
on.
yeah, a lot of it is also based on, there's really big commissions involved, right? So, I sell a lot, right? So my rent, my mortgage, my car payment, it's not dependent on me selling this house, right? When you're dependent on selling this house to this client to, make your bills, you act in a different manner, right? You're acting from a little bit of desperation, right? Whereas, I tell people when I go to interview, for selling their house, I'm like, look, I don't need this house. You can look at my resume right now. I have tons of houses. You're hiring me because I'm the best at what I do, right? And that's who you want to represent you, not someone who is going to skimp out on, not staging the property well, or not, getting a cheap photographer who's not going to look good, or shooting the home with your iPhone. Yeah, it takes good pictures, but not to present a $2 million property on the market, right? So it's just a different way of going about it. It's a different level of care, and just all around presentation of a property that you're putting into it, right? This is not something that, again, going back to taking things lightly. I don't ever take selling $1 million home or a $750,000 condo lightly, right? These people put their blood, sweat, life into being able to finally purchase a home. And when they want to reap the benefits of, selling this home, they deserve the best possible, person for the job, and the best possible service. And, that's definitely, what I offer.
Yeah, I mean, I guess your call earlier was a great example. I love that the other person was feeling bad. I was like, she was getting worried that she's wasting your time, and you were making her feel comfortable. That don't worry, it's about that. You're in good hands. And you also made her feel like, you're not forcing her to buy this, buy that, buy that. You're
Yep.
just okay, chill like that. And I guess it really worked on how you're able to make her calm down after she opened up more
I
on.
mean, so that's the misconception, right? So you say it
Uh,
worked, and I'm not saying putting words in your mouth, but you say it worked kind of like I was trying to like
yeah,
manipulate or trick.
manipulate it in a way.
Yeah,
Nah.
I just, that's how I speak, and that's, how I talk to clients. And I think when they meet me in person, they realize, like, first and foremost, I can't lie. I don't play poker. I can't lie. It's, you'll read it all over my face. So I can't go in front of a client and, try to sell them on something that's not true. So, I'm very straightforward. I tell the truth and I tell them exactly what it is. And, there's been many times where I'll go into a house and they're telling me, hey, should we rent or sell it? Right. If I rent it, I've owned it. I have no loan. I'm getting constant rent on it, but I'm kind of tired of being a landlord. Right. So I could sell it and make a lump sum. I'm going to analyze the situation, tell them, whatever the best for them is, right? And a lot of times it's keep it, right? Because I have rentals. I feel that that's the best way to, gain wealth in the country, right? So it's like, you could
Yeah,
just as
good passive
easily,
income. Yeah,
yeah, you could just as easily refinance your rental, pull some money out, and then now you got a big chunk of money, and you don't have to sell it. So, um, again, I think a lot of people will will point someone in a direction that's going to benefit them, right? And that's not the way that I work, and it's never been the way that I worked. And I think that's why it took longer to get to this point, but it's been a much better ride because I've never done someone wrong or pointed someone in the wrong direction to make a little extra money.
that's the best kind of success. Like knowing that you didn't step over or screw over someone just to get to where you are right now. Like all
Yep.
good. You're helping everyone, and yeah, I think that's one of the things that makes you think that you're having an amazing job because you're also helping people make them
Yep.
the best for their finances and investments, say. And I'm gonna drive over to. I'm gonna ask more about, because you've been mentioning that you've done a lot of strategies and you're working a lot more than most of the people. You've been staying extended hours in the office, so we need a lot of good time management. You needed to make sure that all of your expertise are being used on your time in the right kind of way. So that being said, were you able to get any? What kind of other helps that you got, like within your business, that you were, let's say that you made other people do this and you get to focus on this other thing. So is there any particular management within your team that you're able to do to achieve that?
Yeah, so I'm rebuilding my team right now. For a long time, I've had a lot of help. Right now, I definitely have you know help, short-term help with someone that helps me input data onto the MLS, input load properties and things like that. Have a virtual assistant that helps me with all my social media and all my flyer designs and everything there. And then I have a couple people on my team that really help host open houses and things like that. So as I get busier and as my business grows, I'll add on more help. Probably another, virtual assistant to take on a lot of the back end work that I can, relieve myself of, to focus, all my attention on lead generating, which I think it needs to. That's all I should be focused on. And then eventually I'll get in-house assistant as well to help out. But I think that I do things very quickly. I I can get a lot of tasks done very quickly. And I'm also here early. Before this podcast, I probably knocked out about 10 different tasks that I needed to knock out. Just because I know exactly what I have to do. I know, I have lists that I need to knock off. So, yeah, just, really focused on getting the most out of every day and making sure that, because I could get here at 7 and leave, late in the day. But if I didn't do anything and if I didn't lead generate through the day, then it's a wasted day. So for me,
Exactly.
all day, every day is my one thought that walking in the building is lead generating. That's it. That's all I do.
Definitely.
Um,
So you need to utilize your resources and time to the max. And I want to dive more into the virtual assistants because, it's not that old in the industry.
mhm.
And a lot of people, I guess, had some misconceptions or doubts, especially, yeah, anyone that has never tried it before. Like, how can someone who can work from a far off place, like be better than working someone from in-house? So before you got your virtual assistants, did you had any doubts or anything that were kind of stopping you, and what led you to get that go signal?
No, because there's always so many people that I reach out to for advice, and it's becoming very commonplace in our industry. So I have a number of friends that have three, four, five virtual assistants, all handling aspects of their business. So great referrals for assistants. It's just you're getting top level service, obviously for not as much as you would pay for someone in the States. So it's just like when you learn to leverage and learn to utilize people's talents, right? Because they my virtual assistant, who does all my social media and flyer design and everything, she's amazing. She's absolutely amazing. She gets things done so quickly, and just so she's so proficient at everything that she does. So it's definitely you know such a huge evolution that's happened, right? And the level of talent that you can get is just getting so much higher, right? Because it's competitive, like in every industry, right? So and you're gonna find you got to find the right person that works the way you work and works with you. But if you spend some time finding it, I mean, it could free up so much more of your time to be able to spend elsewhere, right, in different aspects of the business that are going to be money making activities.
Exactly. It's going to be worth it. I mean, it's going to take some time, a lot of trial and error, as I've
Mhm.
talked to anyone, because, you can find the perfect person in day one.
Yep.
But also, you can train a person to be the perfect person if,
Yep.
it's the attitude and the character that really counts for it.
Yep.
And I guess one of Justin's words from the CEO of Sea Rocket mentioned that, a lot of people are going to be saying that, yeah, I'm handling my social media account like properly. So why do I need to hire someone to do it? As you mentioned, you can focus on the best thing, that money making things that you can do, and you can leave it to an expert who's social handling social medias or
Mhm.
whichever that you need, or video editing, stuff like that. And yeah, the costs will definitely play a big role. I think it would be like a fraction of the cost compared to having an actual person doing that for you.
Yep.
And yeah, I think that's the one of the best reasons to get a VA in general.
Yep.
And in your case, how long have you been having your how long have you had your VAs employed under you now? Like the longest one?
Couple years.
Ooh.
So it's
Mhm.
it's to the point where they kind of just, like you said, you gotta train, and you gotta kind of, it takes some
Mhm.
time to get used to
Mhm.
each other on how you work. But
Mhm.
the work up with the one I have right now is almost seamless. um,
Mhm.
and it's so easy and makes your life so much less stressful when you have a
Yes.
certain aspect
Uh-huh.
taken care of, right?
Uh-huh.
I know that if
Mhm.
I need something immediately, I can reach out and I'll have it probably within 20 minutes. So it's just, and again, as the business grows, I'll add more help, and it'll take things to another level. Just because I know where I need help, where I'm weak at, and you want to make sure that you focus on your strengths and get help on where you're weak.
Exactly. You need to first, determine your requirements before just jumping into, like, okay, I need three VAs to just to do me this. At least you're very specific. You know what specifically what you need to grow your business, or yeah, to fill in the gaps in the holes in terms of doing your work.
Yep.
And I guess I'm gonna drive it in a different direction. Uh, so I guess you pretty much mentioned that helping people and doing being successful in your business is one of your goals. But beyond the money and all of those commissions, why do you do what you do now, and why do you work so hard for it?
I'm playing. I haven't worked for the money in quite a bit. I kind of I'm playing for the record books now. I look at it like a video game, and I don't. I'm not a big fan of video games, but I'm trying to set the highest score, and I know I have the talent to be one of the best, if not the best, in the country, and outsell everyone. And I don't set goals. I've never been a goal setter, so it's not gonna upset me if I don't make it to one of these high marks. But I'm playing to because it is a game to me, and I want to see how high of a score I can get in this game, and how high I can get up in the country rankings. And I think it's I don't need to do it, but it's if I'm doing it what I love every day, and I'm lucky enough to do that, I might as well put everything I have into it. And yeah, until I get bored or lose interest, I'm always going to be the first one here at the office, and always going to be pushing hard to do things that people probably think are impossible. But I just have a different mindset and carry myself in a different way. And I think that's what sets me apart.
Yeah. I read this phrase or quote like, find a job you love and never work a single day of your life.
Yep.
I think that's pretty much what's happening to you. You're
Yeah.
doing what you love. You don't see it as a job, as a chore, but more of, I don't know, a hobby or a passion or
Yeah.
sort of
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
And I think that's why love your job. And yeah, that's why you're doing amazing with it. And I guess that being said, we talk about your life experience, your strategies, techniques. So, can you tell us more about the business that you're doing right now? Of course, it's in real estate, and yeah, specifics that we want to share more about your business and how can people contact you?
Yeah. So best way to reach out to me is probably Instagram. I'm always posting on there, and try to be uh, as accessible as possible. I think a lot of top agents are not. So I never miss a message. I always respond to people. I always try to help new agents out and give them advice. So Instagram is Lex sells homes. And you'll kind of be able to watch my journey. And I'm on a journey to get back to where I was 2 years ago, selling over 100 million a year. So I show a lot of what I do and how I get there. And again, willing to help any agent out that, needs help or wants to get pointed in the right direction.
So not just people looking for a home, but agents looking for someone to learn from. I
Yeah,
guess.
absolutely. And, going to be starting a coaching program soon to help, new agents and agents who want to, elevate their business. So I'll be starting that probably in the next couple months. And, that's something I'm really excited for, and kind of
Mhm.
first time I've shared it. But that's coming soon as well. So yeah, just a lot of great things come in, and, just continually pushing and trying to outdo, what I did yesterday. And that's the goal.
Yes. Yeah, it's amazing. You didn't need to do this to grow your business, but I guess you're doing this because you really wanted to help out people the same way that your coach helped you out as well.
Yep,
So,
exactly.
you know,
Exactly.
just to improve the industry in general
Mhm.
and to prevent those, I don't know, lazy. I forgot the term you used for those lazy agents that just try to sell
Uh,
people, but yeah, making it a
yeah.
more better place in terms
Mhm.
of getting more customers have the best kind of experience that they have.
Yep.
And before we continue off, we're gonna have a lightning round, which is like fast string of questions, but we're gonna hit it off after a short commercial break. So yeah, this is just going to be a few seconds, and we'll be back after this. Overwhelmed with work? Well, meet your new partner from Sphere Rocket VA. In just a click, get matched with a virtual assistant who handles all the tedious tasks. No in-person hiring, no extra office gear, just easy online help from our recruitment team. It's like having an extra pair of hands minus the hassle. So ready to relax and see your work done just like magic? Choose Sphere Rocket VA and visit us at www.sphererocketva.com. Okay, and we are back in the Sphere Rocket Podcast Network with Lex. Hopefully, you're still doing fine, and hopefully, I'm not taking too much of your time.
No, you're good. You're good.
Yeah, it's been amazing talking to you. And yeah, as Lex mentioned earlier, he's about to do a coaching program. I'm not sure if it's supposed to be a secret still. I think it's the first time that you talk about it.
Yeah.
But in case it is not a secret and you want people to know about it, so is there any particular requirements to be part of that program?
No, again, you'll catch it on Lex Sells Homes on my Instagram, and I'll drop the information probably in the coming months. Just want to make sure that I have a great program for any agent at any skill level that wants to level up in their business, but also wants to be motivated, because I definitely have a very set schedule and how I want to accomplish what I'm going to accomplish. And I'm up early at the gym early, in the office early, and it just it's going to give people a kind of a blueprint on how to get there. It's going to be up to them to walk the path, and go through the struggles that I went through, because it hasn't been easy. I mean, it's been a long time coming to get to this point. There's many years where I didn't sell a lot, and I had to get a part-time job just to support myself to, you know, just keep going and pay my bills, right? But I never ever lost focus that I was going to be doing this for, my career and for, the rest of my life. And just been had a good mindset and a clear, I don't want to say vision, because I never envisioned again getting to this point, but I always envisioned myself doing this. And that consistency of showing up every day and putting in the work, has translated into a great life and a great career.
Yeah, not just romanticizing the goal, but the journey itself, like loving the journey and experience itself. Yeah, will definitely make it more enjoyable. So now we're gonna hit it off with the lightning round. So, Lex, you ready?
Yep.
Okay, first, what is your favorite business book?
Favorite business book. I can't think of the name, but
Oh,
Fred Eklund wrote a real estate book, um,
mm-hmm,
and mainly just because there was so many small things that I took from the book,
mm-hmm,
um,
mm-hmm,
and just like little things that I implemented in my business, like not biting my nails, right? Because it looks like if you're in a one-on-one business meeting with someone and your nails are all bitten up, it looks like you're nervous, right? So I took so many little tidbits. I mean, it was a good book, but just from the amount of small things that I took from that kind of changed how I go take on my day-to-day life. That's why I liked it so much.
Okay. Next question. I think I might have known what is your answer, but who is your favorite or most influential coach or influencer to you?
Yeah, definitely. My business partner Joe, he's my partner now, and we do a ton of business together. But definitely the most influential person. Owe so much to him and helping me out in my journey, and just allowing me to go on appointments and watch him and watch him do what he does every day, and that definitely changed me for sure.
I mean, it's awesome from coach, it became your business partner. And yeah, I guess it really molded to a really an amazing relationship between you and him. And yeah, next one is what is your favorite lead generation method?
Mail marketing.
Yeah, I
Any,
knew that
any,
was going to be
any, anything through the mail. Anything through the mail. I think people think it's a lost art, or it's archaic and something that people don't use anymore. But every day, I think I'm proving people wrong, and I think more and more people are starting to get back to mailing, as they see the success that I've had with it.
I guess a lot of people might not see mailing because they would say it's kind of old. I don't know if it's old school is the term for it, but people just prefer to just go cold calling because they wanted to
I think
have
it's an
that. But
instant it's an instant gratification thing, right? It's the world we live
Mhm,
in, and that's what people want. And when you mail, it's going to take time. But I'm not
mhm,
I'm not mailing for tomorrow. I'm mailing to dominate an area over a long period of time, right? So
yeah,
I have a different long term mindset on what I want to
mhm,
do with it, um,
mhm,
than other people who are like, I'm going to mail 500 pieces, and someone's going to call me to sell their house, and I'm going to make a lot of money on that one, and then I'm going to do it again. That's not how it works.
mhm.
You just got to be patient, consistent, and I think that's the key to everything.
Patience and consistency. Yeah, a lot of people tend to, oh, it's not maybe I should do a different method, but yeah, you just need to be patient and wait for the actual results.
Yep.
And yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yep.
Okay, got two last questions, but okay, first one, what is your biggest goal for this year, 2024? I'm not sure because you don't like the vision, but if you
Yeah.
have any, what would it be?
Just to put together a good year. Just put together a good year. There's no numbers or anything like that I'm reaching for or striving for. I know if I end the year and I gave everything I could and really worked at it, I'll be happy with that. And it's not just a yearly thing, because real estate translates into the next year. My marketing this year is going to be stronger next year because they're going to see me more in these neighborhoods. So I'm always just building for the next year and building for a bigger business down the line, because eventually I'm going to get to the point where I don't need to do a lot of this stuff and business is just being thrown at me, without even trying. And I know that takes years of work, but that's where I'm trying to get to where it's, kind of residual in a sense, but just to where, things are just coming in, and I'm kind of picky and choosy with the homes that I want to sell and want to list, and create a great team under me to, support the rest of it.
Yeah, and I guess one of your new goals, if you would have any, is your coaching thing that you're gonna get on within this year. Hopefully, I
Yeah,
think that's gonna be
yeah,
a new kind of goal for you to accomplish. So yeah,
yeah.
best of luck for that.
Thank you.
And last question: what is your best Amazon purchase on? I guess from last year until today.
My back massager.
Really, it's like that
Yeah,
much of a difference?
yeah, it's awesome. I got a bad back, so it's pretty awesome
Oh,
to.
okay.
It's pretty awesome.
I guess that was the years of wrestling that is kind
There
of
you go.
getting into.
Yeah, so it helps out a lot. Helps out a lot. It makes sitting here comfortable, and yeah, because I'm sitting down a lot, so it definitely helps. So yeah, that was my best.
I guess those are the small things that actually matter. You wouldn't know if, especially if you're doing a desk job for most of the time, it would really make such an impact if you have that.
Yep.
And and I guess that would be the last question that we have for the lighting round. And Lex, it has been an awesome episode with you. Thank you for all the knowledge and everything that you've shared. And Lex, if you want to give a shout out to anyone or your virtual assistants as well, because they're going to be watching this for sure.
Yeah, I love all the help, and just love all the help that I've got in my whole career. So many people helped me out to get to this point. I think I put in the effort every day to make it happen, but definitely have had a lot of help on the way, and want to help as many people going forward as I can.
Okay, and I guess to close it up, sorry, I have one last question to close it up. What would be your advice to anyone who wanted to pursue a career in real estate?
Yeah, get your license, and find someone who's doing what you want to do in the business and offer to work for them for free. Because no one's going to take you on just because, right? But go and try to work for free for someone and soak up as not much knowledge as you can. It's going to cut your learning curve, in half, and you're going to be on a great path.
I guess so. That you need to sacrifice those in order to gain more. Investing in yourself. Or
Yep.
that's an amazing advice. Actually, I should have tried that before when I was looking for a job at my first time. No one would hire me because I didn't have any experience. But yeah, that's a good life hack
Mhm.
in career, not just in the real estate, but I guess several fields. But
Yep.
yeah, that's awesome. And I guess that would be the end of our episode for today at the Sphere Rocket Podcast Network. Hopefully, you guys that are watching have learned a lot for today's episode because I did, definitely for sure. So thank you so much for that, Lex. And we'll hope to see you again in the next episode. See you, everyone, and goodbye.
Thank you.
Feeling the difference with Sphere Rocket VA? Tasks are flying off your list, and there's more me time in your day. And guess what? It's all super affordable. Yes, you heard right. Our virtual assistants aren't just amazing at what they do, they're easy on your wallet too. No more stress over emails or schedules. With Sphere Rocket VA, you get your time back and keep your budget happy. Ready for simpler, affordable workdays? Head on over to www.sphererocketva.com. Join us at Sphere Rocket VA, where every day is easy and easy on your budget.